Welcome back. I've made a lot of progress on the game. I've put a lot of work into it, but the outcome isn't quite representative of all the work, but I've still done some cool things. So the first thing that I did was get the camera scrolling so I can walk around the entire map. Um, for that, I have these camera variables that basically follow the hero around. Here I make sure that they don't go off the screen out of bounds of the map array. Um, and then whenever I draw the hero, uh, where is it? Whenever I draw the hero, I just subtract those camera amounts from him so that he stays in the center of the screen. Um, so let's take a look at that. So if I go left here, the camera doesn't move because he's not in the center of the screen. And you'll notice that he doesn't go out of bounds either. Once I get to the middle, the camera starts scrolling with him. Same if I go down, I get to the middle, and it starts scrolling. If I go all the way to the bottom, he goes to the bottom to takes a little bit. It's kind of a big map. Some more trees, and boom, hits the wall. So that's all working fine. Um, basically, I this is all in the timer section. So the timer, this gets checked 60 times a second. It's at 60 frames per second. So 60 times a second, I'm updating the hero's position, which just means making sure he doesn't go off the screen, checking the bounds. And then 60 times a second, I'm updating the camera to follow the hero around and checking this. This could probably be somewhere else, but for now it's working, so I'm leaving it there. Um, the next thing I did was collision detection. So basically, if I have any of these tiles like the tree or the bush or the purple stuff, I don't want the hero to be able to walk over it. I want him to stop when he gets near it, like running into a wall or something. So whenever he is about to move, for example here, if he's going to move up, I have this method that checks for tile collisions. So I get the hero's position and I see the position he would move into if he were to move up. And then goes into that method, check collisions. First I make sure that that area is not out of bounds of the map. And then this is from the Mappy software. So this is a structure, this is a pointer to a structure, and this method gets the location of the tile. The map is in tiles, but with C++, it's in pixels. So this takes the pixels where my hero is, where he's about to move, converts them into tiles, and then I can use that tile pointer to access this variable, which is also part of the block structure. Um, and these variables are built into Mappy. Each tile has them, and basically you can just turn them on or off. So BL is the one that I've decided is for I call it a blocked tile. So if this is checked, that means it's set to true. And I'm saying that means if it's true, then it's blocked. You can't walk through it. So if this method is a bool, so it returns a bool. So if this returns true, that means it's blocked. So here I have, if this returns false, that means it's not blocked, which means it's okay to move the hero. And I've done the same thing for moving every direction. Since there's probably a better way to do this, but since every way you're facing works a little bit differently, I did it for every direction, and it works now, so I'm going to stick with that. Let's take a look at the collision. So I walk into a tree and I can't go any farther. Here you can stand on top of the tree, but yeah, That's good enough for me. I just want it to stop him when it gets there. So all those work fine. Can't go in here, can't go in there. The bush works the same way. Can't go past the bush. And I'd kind of like to be able to go through the middle there, but it doesn't let me do that. But that's fine. I'll just keep it like that. I don't care. Same thing with the purple stuff. So that's working. The next thing that I did was this harvest concept. So I said I wanted to be able to um, basically any tile that I can't pass through, I want to be able to interact with in some way, just to have a lot of options in the game. So my idea for implementing that would be to harvest whatever's there. So in the case of trees, you know, you'd harvest like leaves or sticks or something, and after you're done, you end up with a stump. So to do that, um, first, the hero has to be facing in the direction of the thing he wants to harvest, and then when you press the space bar, if that thing is harvestable, you get the materials from the tile, and then the tile is replaced with the stump or whatever. So I have this method called harvest. If you're facing the thing and uh, you press the space bar, then you can harvest it. First, I check the bounds to make sure I'm not trying to harvest something off the screen. And then I get the tile again, just like last time, get the block in pixels. And this time I've set a different flag for it. This one's called user1, and in Mappy we have all these different things we can set. So I've just chose the tree as 1, and I chose the bush as 2, purple stuff as 3. So when I come in here, if that ID is 1, I know it's a tree. That means that I first increment the leaves, which is the material, and that's going to be in the inventory. Right now the user has no way of knowing what his inventory is, but I'll work on that later. But this is taken care of in here. So harvest the leaves, I increment the leaves, and then I have to replace that that tile with the stump. And fortunately, Mappy makes that really easy. There's a function that lets you do it. 31 is the number of the stump, so I just replace that stump with 31. If it's the bush, which I'm calling mold berries now, if it's the mold berries, I increment the mold berries, and then I replace it with 33, which is this, the empty mold berries. And if it's the purple stuff, I increment purple stuff and replace it with that. I haven't come up with a name for purple stuff yet, but it will have some better name than that. Originally, I had this method can harvest, which returns a bool, and I was thinking like first I needed to check whether or not a tile was harvestable before I harvested it, but really I don't even need to do that because since they all have individual flags, then only they can be harvested. So this method was kind of a waste of time. Also, there's a lot of code that's repeated here. I checked the bounds on each one, so I'll probably take that out and make a separate method for that, just to kind of clean things up. But right now, it's actually I've already done that, but I'm not using it right now because it's working and it took a long time to get it to work. So I'll stick with that for now. So let's take a look at how things get harvested. So I walk up here. If I press the spacebar anywhere, nothing happens. If I walk up close to it, press the spacebar, I harvest. Now my inventory is getting incremented, but like I said, it's not showing it yet. Eventually I'll have something on screen that will tell you that. Now if I'm standing right next to something but I'm not facing it, I can't harvest it, only if I'm facing it. So I can chop down all these trees. And then you'll notice after I've harvested the tree, then I can walk through the tile where the stump is. So I can't walk through the tree, but after I harvest it, I can. Works pretty nice, actually. Same thing with the bush. Let's go check it out. Harvest the bush. Can't walk through it. Now I can. Again, this is incrementing the mold berries in my inventory, and the purple stuff works the same way. I also have to add sound effects. Alright, so that's working nicely. That's everything I've done this time. But the good news is now I have like a fully functional world that I can start really getting creative with and working with. Um, my next steps will probably be things like uh, displaying the inventory, maybe some kind of scrolling text on the bottom of the screen to give different information, like a traditional role-playing game would. And after that, I'll start coming up with recipes, things to do with my inventory, and then enemies. I want to actually fight people. He's carrying a sword for a reason, not just to chop down trees. So those are the next steps, and I'll see you later.